Okay, so I'm going to read the first half of chapter 22, which is called Unbroken. If you'd like, please subscribe and like and all that jazz. But mostly, I would love it if you just give me some feedback because I'm really curious to hear what people think about this. So here we go. Chapter 22, Unspoken. Charles slipped in the side door of the hotel, slunk quickly down the hall, and found a courtesy phone just around the corner from the lobby. He dialed 0, and the front desk put him through to Amelia's room. "Hello, hello! I hear you called for room service," he chirped. "What? Where are you? I thought you left." Her voice lit up the line. He could hear her smile. "I stayed. Yep, I did, because I believe you mentioned you wanted to go line dancing." "You're crazy," she answered. "Starts at 8 o'clock. We better hurry." "They've got monitors on every floor," she cried. "I'm hearing you say, Charles, if you can get me out without me being seen, I'm in." "You're crazy," she practically shouted, the smile so bright it felt like the whole lobby was lit up. "Yup, yup. Oh!" It was Glenn, and he was headed across the lobby in Charles's direction. Charles hung up, darted down the hallway, and ducked into the first room he saw. He flattened himself against the wall. Not 10 seconds later, Glenn went by, striding with a purpose. Charles couldn't be sure Glenn had spotted him, but it seemed likely. He took in the deep breath. The nerves rippled through him all the way to his scalp. It felt so alive he could barely stand it. It felt like he would burst. He took another deep breath and realized he smelled laundry. He took a good look around the dark room. The battered service elevator opened and Charles gingerly poked his head out. At the far end of the hallway, a man in a baby blue shirt was sitting in a chair reading a book. Charles felt his heart start to race, but still he moved slow and steady. He kept his head down and pushed the cart forward and down the hall. Thank God her room was close. He parked the service cart in front of her door and knocked. He heard footsteps, and then the door opened. In spite of the tension of the moment, Charles still took in every perfect detail of her face as it went from neutral to confusion to an absolute radiant mix of shock and delight. "You're wearing a smock," she whispered. Charles slid the towels aside, revealing the hidden space he'd created under the service cart. "You said if I could get you out, you'd go line dancing." "You're insane," she shrieked. "Get in! Quick!" he said. One short step, and she was huddled in the space in the laundry cart. Charles slid the towels back to cover up. Then, as smoothly as he could, he turned the cart around. It squeaked with her weight, and he had to lean into it to make it move. "Here we go," he said as cheerily as he could. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Yup, yup, yup." He stabbed the button for the elevator over and over. Cautiously, he glanced down the hall. The man in the chair was up and coming their way. "Any sign of the hall monitor?" she whispered out. "Nope, nope, nope," he responded. The elevator dinged and the door slid open. Charles leaned into it, shoved the cart in quickly, and jammed the closed door button. As the door slid shut, he was sure he had heard footsteps. "Okay," he sang. "Next stop, Whiskey Row." His heart hammered as the elevator lurched slowly downward. He counted the floors, praying it didn't stop. Finally, they jerked to a halt in the lobby. Charles had the cart going before the door was even half open. He turned hard towards the side entrance of the hotel, but glanced back to the lobby as he did. 3 men in baby blue church shirts were huddled in animated conversation. Charles leaned into the cart and pumped his long legs, getting it down the carpeted hall as quickly as he could. He reached the door and parked the cart sideways. Let's go," he crooned, pulling her out from her hiding spot. She beamed as she emerged, taking his hand as they hustled out the door. Charles looked back and saw one of the blue-shirted church monitors coming down the hall at a hurried pace. Pulling her behind him, they rushed between cars and bushes out to the sidewalk. From there, Charles could see the main entrance of the hotel, where 2 church monitors had just rushed outside. Amelia was in big trouble. They hadn't been spotted, but it was only a matter of seconds. Charles looked for somewhere to hide, but the sidewalk was empty and exposed except for a small bus bench. and a bus just pulling up to a spot. "This is us! Yup, yup!" He guided her onto the bus and was right behind her. He quickly paid the fare and then led her back into an open seat. "This is our bus?" she asked. "Perfect timing, just right," he smiled, hoping she wouldn't detect anything was wrong. "Hey, look over there!" The bus brakes released, and with a hum it rolled away. Charles's breath froze in his chest as they drifted right past two frantic church monitors who seemed to be looking everywhere except at the bus directly in front of them. All right, that's part one. Please subscribe and like and all that stuff, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll release the second half of the chapter soon.